Submitting your general distinguishing number application via eLicensing. Your application for your dealer's license must be submitted electronically through the eLicensing system. The Texas Department of Motor Vehicles no longer accepts mailed-in applications. The online application submission must be completed correctly and in full. The application must be signed by the business owner or an authorized representative. The application must be signed electronically or by hand using what is known as a certificate of responsibility, which I'm going to show you here in just a few moments. Failure to complete any portion of the application will prevent the application from being submitted. Correct dealer license applications will allow the Texas Department of Motor Vehicles to grant your dealer's license in a much quicker manner. Mistakes on the dealer application submission can lead to substantial delays in your dealer license approval. The individual completing the application is answering truthfully and correctly all questions that apply to all partners, LLC members or managers, or any directors, officers, or owners of the business, not just the person completing the application. I want to repeat that. Whoever's completing the application is answering for all partners, LLC members or managers, any directors, officers, or owners of the business, not just for the person that is completing the dealer license application. Some owners and partners may not be listed on the license. The person whom completes and signs the application is representing all owners truthfully. You must complete all information truthfully and correctly. Filing false statements of material fact on a dealer license application can lead to the denial of the initial application, possible suspension of the dealer's license in the future, or may even lead to possible criminal charges. Be sure all the information you enter on the dealer application is truthful and correct. A correct dealer license application will lead to much quicker dealer license approval by the Texas Department of Motor Vehicles. You will need the following required documentation before you submit your application through the e-licensing system. Your employment identification number, or EIN for the business. I'm going to show you how to get your EIN a little bit later in the course. Your dealer surety bond number, the name of your bonding company, and the effective and expiration dates of the bond. And by the way, your bond must be signed by both you and the bonding company representative. The power of attorney provided by the bond company will also be needed in addition to the original dealer surety bond copies. Scanned copies of driver's license, passport, or an official ID card for all owners and managers listed on the application. A lease or proof of property ownership is going to be required. Business photo clearly displaying the exterior of the business structure and business sign is also a required item. You're going to need a copy of your 6-hour dealer educational course certificate of completion, and you'll be able to easily download that as soon as you've watched all 6 hours of the video. In addition to the required documents, you may need some additional documents as well. Corporations, limited liability corporations, limited partnerships, and limited liability partnerships would need a scanned copy of all of their corporate and/or registration papers that have been filed with the Texas Secretary of State. And we're going to cover this process extensively later on in your dealer training course. Sole proprietors and general partnerships need the scanned copy of assumed name certificates for each doing business as, or DBA, that's filed with the county. If a corporation, limited liability, limited partnership, or limited liability partnership has filed an assumed name certificate, they would also need a copy of those assumed name certificates as well. You're going to need a social security number if you're applying for your dealer's license as a sole proprietor. If a sole proprietor has employees, then an employment identification number is needed and may be used. Social security numbers may be used if a sole proprietor is the only employee of the business. Certificate of occupancy is required if that is required by your city or your county. Any previous GDN numbers you or any partners may have held in the past also need to be submitted. You'll need your converter license number if you're applying for an independent mobility motor vehicle GDN. Maybe you may need a scanned copy of any facts pertaining to any criminal history of any officer partner on the license application if you do have criminal history, or if your officers or partners have criminal history those facts must be submitted as well. Scanned copy of any court papers that verify the adjudication, dismissal, or decision made regarding the criminal history of any officer or partner on the license application. I want you to be aware, if you do need to obtain copies of any court documents explaining criminal history, you should contact the county or district clerk's office in the county where that offense occurred. The Department of Motor Vehicles would also like you to know that the following are acceptable forms of identification on your dealer license application. That could be a current driver's license, United States passport, United States Armed Forces identity card, a state-issued identity card, or a Texas concealed handgun license. Remember, all owners and managers listed on the application must provide an acceptable form of identification. And by the way, I want you to be aware, if you are leasing the building where you will have your dealer's license, you must have the lessor and lessee business names, complete business address for the rental office that you're leasing from, and that would also include any suite numbers if applicable. You would have to submit the lease term, the lessor and lessee signatures as well. Remember, if you do not own the property, the lease must be for a minimum of 2 years. If you log on to the e-licensing system without all of the above information, you will not be able to complete your dealer license application. So make sure you have all your correct documentation, and that way we will just be able to sail right through our dealer license application process. And for some reason, if you need to save it and continue later, I'll show you how to do that. That's very, very easy to do. Before we get started, I want you to be very aware that GDNs are city specific. If a dealer is relocating to a new city, then a new license, including a new dealer surety bond, is required. I want to repeat that. Your dealer's license is city specific. If a dealer is relocating to a new city, then a new license, including a new dealer surety bond, would be required. Applying for your independent general distinguishing number or your dealer's license. The independent general distinguishing number e-licensing application process is very automated, and it will take you step by step through the application process. Some license types will require additional information for that specific license. You will need to allow some time to complete the application, as it is quite extensive and you must answer all questions accurately. You will also use e-licensing after you receive your dealer's license. So if you can use it to renew your license, you can amend or make any changes to your dealer license. You can order metal plates and stickers. You can restart your dealer application process if you were not able to complete it on the first time. You can print copies of your dealer's license. And remember, the dealer's license must be displayed at all times. You can review enforcement cases involving your dealership. You can close the license, you can change general information, you can view protests and complaints, and also pay any money that might be owed right through your e-licensing account. And as I said, you are going to be required to upload several documents that we covered previously. So all information must be true and correct, and you must maintain this information throughout the licensure period. For example, you may not state that you have the minimum amount of office furniture that is required by law, and then remove the required office furniture a couple of months later after you have your license. You must maintain all requirements during your entire licensure period. And as I said, if you're not able to complete the entire application at one time, you can easily save the application and then finish the application right at the place where you started and where you left off. When you're using the e-licensing system, it is recommended by the state that you use Windows 10 or Edge as your web browser. You can also use Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox, okay? And during the application process, you are going to be uploading several documents. So remember, Microsoft Windows that's Windows Edge is the recommended browser, and you can save your applications and finish later. You must register an account, and you're going to receive a username and password. So first, you can access the e-licensing section. You can go right there to the website that you see, txdmv.force.com/customers/lace_login, and that's kind of a long website address. But if you need an alternate method to log on, you can just go to the website where you signed up for your dealer training course. That's texasdealers.com. Then you can scroll down on any page and click on the Texas e-licensing link, and you will easily be able to access the e-licensing system from this page. So you're going to land on the Texas Department of Motor Vehicles brand new, newly redesigned website, very, very user-friendly. And right there, you're going to see a link to the e-licensing system. So you're just going to click on the link into e-licensing. I'm sorry, click on the link that says log into e-licensing. And you'll need to carefully read that security warning pop-up that displays over the login page. And if you agree to the terms, you'll click I accept. Next, you're going to scroll down under the register here, and you're going to click on the join e-licensing button. Next, click join e-licensing again. So you have to do that a couple of times there. Now you're going to enter your contact information and your business information here. Always make sure it's all true and correct. And now your account has been created. So you're going to need to make sure that you check your email, and you're going to receive 3 emails from the Texas Department of Motor Vehicles. One email will contain your assigned username, one email contains your password, and the third email has a login link. So check your email, then you'll click on the login button very easily right there. And now you have landed on your account page. And I want to spend a little time going over these different sections on your account page. First, as you can see at the very top left, you can view any applications that you have saved by clicking on My Applications section. You can also apply for a license, which we're going to do here in just a moment. You can also renew your license when it is time to renew your license. You can amend your license in case you need to notify the Department of Motor Vehicles of any licensure changes. You may also order dealer plates and stickers, view all your license and plates, so you can view any type of pending cases involving your dealership. You can click on dealer replacements to replace a license. You may also close out your license. If for some reason you would like to close your business, you can certainly close your license. I hope that's something that you never do. But if you want to close your license, you can do that right there on your account page. You can change general license information as well. You can view protests and complaints. You can make a payment to the state if you owe any money, and you can manage your account. So, for example, if you want to add users to your account. So now you are going to apply for a new license. So you're going to click on the apply for new license. Next, you're going to see all the types of licenses that we've discussed earlier in the course. And in just a moment, you will click on the independent GDN license link. You can apply for a salvage license. Remember though, with the GDN license, you can now operate as a salvage dealer. So that could be for someone that doesn't have a GDN license that is only going to be having a salvage license. You can apply for a lesser license when leasing vehicles, franchise license when selling brand new vehicles, a lease facilitator license when acting as an intermediary between the customer and the business that is leasing the vehicle, a distributor license. You can apply for a transit license, a converter license, or a manufacturer license, as you see right there. So I'm going to show you how to apply for your independent GDN license. So you're just going to click on the independent GDN license box there at the very top. Then you're going to select the organization that you just registered. And I want to bring your attention to the top of the screen here. You can view what part of the application process you are at. You see here, you're starting with your account, and you'll go through several steps at the top before you're actually able to pay for the dealer license fees. And you'll always know what part of the application process you're at. So now we're going to click on the Save and Next button. I want to explain some information on this page here where you see application contact, license contact, and things like that. Application contact. This information is used by the licensing specialist to review and resolve any cases with the application. License contact. This information is used to contact the license holder once the license is approved. And eTags, that's the person that will be the account administrator for the separate eTag system to use temporary plates. So one more time, remember, the application contact, this is the information that's used by the licensing specialist to review and resolve any issues with the application, okay? The license contact is the information used to contact the license holder once you've gotten your dealer's license. And then you've also got a separate eTag contact, and that's the person that will be contacted for eTag system that we'll talk about here in just a little while. So you are going to complete that information, and then once again, you're going to click Save and Next. And now you're going to select the application reason. And most of you will be selecting the Apply for a New License choice. However, you may be amending your license in the future. And as you can see, the amendment choices here are you might be relocating your dealership, changing a business entity, or maybe your previous license was not renewed. But like I said, for the first time that you're applying for your license, you will probably be selecting Apply for a New License from the drop-down box. So you're just going to click Save and Next to continue. And on the next screen, you're going to see GDN Types. Okay, for this training scenario, I'm going to check the motor vehicle box at the top. As you can see, if you scroll down, you can also apply for other types of licenses, okay? But for this training scenario, I'm going to assume that you're applying for your motor vehicle dealer's license. And also, I want to take just a moment and explain some ownership titles here with you. A sole proprietor is one individual, and no other individuals can be listed as a business owner. If the business is a general partnership, then the ownership information for each partner must be listed. For business types that file with the Texas Secretary of State, all owners and operating members must be listed, and the information must match the information on file with the Texas Secretary of State's office. On this screen, you're going to enter your contact information, phone number, and email, and they're all required, by the way, and the physical address of your dealership must be entered as well. And what you're going to need to do is click on the Validate Address button to validate your address. If your business license cannot be validated, then you can submit an address verification letter from your post office or a 911 address verification from the local city or county government office. And that would probably be the zoning or addressing division. And that would also be an acceptable business verification if the business address cannot be verified. Now you will select whether or not you want to order metal dealer plates. And for this training scenario, I will select that you want 2 motor vehicle plates. If you're a motorcycle dealer, then you could order motorcycle plates instead of the full-size motor vehicle plates. Now you're going to enter ownership information. And I want to spend a little time on this screen because this is a little bit confusing. If your business is owned by an individual or individuals, you will list the person or persons who own the business in the individual ownership section. I want to repeat that. If the business is owned by you, an individual or individuals, then you will list the person or persons who own the business in the individual ownership section. The business ownership information only needs to be entered if one or more businesses own the dealership, such as Business A and Business B are the owners of the dealership rather than individual persons. If the dealership you are opening is owned in full or in part by another business, you will enter the information into the business ownership section. You would only complete this when the dealership would be owned by another business. In the management section, a manager is only required if the business is owned in whole or in part by another business, in which this case at least one operating manager is required to be listed. The management section is pretty much a static section of the application step and can be accessed at any time by following the business owner section. Otherwise, a manager is not required to be listed as part of the application process. So for this training scenario, I'm going to complete the individual ownership section, and this would apply to you if you are the owner of the business, or perhaps you and maybe another person or individual own the business, okay? And by the way, if you have multiple owners, be sure the ownership percentage equals 100%. So in this scenario, you would click the Add Owner box. Then you're going to scroll down and answer these very important questions. And remember, you must answer all questions correctly, okay? The first question asks if any person has been convicted of a felony or a misdemeanor. The next question asks if any person has received a deferred education for a felony or misdemeanor offense in any state or other state or federal jurisdiction. And the final question asks if a person has been court-martialed. If you have answered yes to any of these questions, you will need to submit additional paperwork involving those cases. And as stated earlier in the course, necessary court documents such as those can normally be found at the county or the district clerk's office in the county where that offense occurred. On the next page, you're going to be asked several more questions, so you need to be sure that all these questions are answered correctly. Depending on how you answer the questions, you may see additional questions or instructions drop down due to your answers. Remember, the questions apply to all partners, LLC members or managers, and any directors, officers, or owners of the business, not just the person that is completing the application. First, you'll be asked if you're a military service member or veteran, and the DMV will waive application fees for members of the military if that person holds a current license in another state or has held a Texas dealer's license in the last 5 years and relocated due to active duty in the military. Military members may separately qualify for expedited license processing. Answer if you have previously applied for licenses, if you have previously had applications denied. Answer if you've held a license at this same address previously. The state wants to know about that. You're then asked if you have a sign visible to the public with the dealership name, at least 6 inches high or larger. And as a reminder, wholesale dealers must have a permanent sign mounted in front of the business structure with 6-inch letters, the same as retail dealers, or they may affix a sign with 2-inch letters near the entrance to the office if their landlord does not allow exterior signage. Do you have business hours posted that meet the Texas Department of Motor Vehicle requirements? Do you own or lease the property and agree to submit documentation to prove? You are then asked if your business property meets all local zoning laws. Have you obtained certificates of occupancy for the location? You are then asked if the property is a residence, apartment house, hotel, motel, or rooming house. Remember, a dealer may not operate out of a residence, apartment house, hotel, motel, or rooming house. If the office is located on a residential property, then the office must be in a separate structure and you must meet all local zoning requirements. Answer if you've ever been disciplined with the Texas Department of Motor Vehicles. And the question applicants must answer about Texas Department of Motor Vehicle disciplinary history applies to disciplinary action by the Texas Department of Motor Vehicles under all codes, not just the occupations code. You're then asked if you have an office area with a desk, at least 2 chairs, internet access, a phone with a listed number. Remember, the dealer phone number may not be shared with another dealer. And remember, wireless access is an acceptable form for your internet requirement. You're asked whether or not you have a manufacturer's license. And finally, do you have a display area with room for 5 or more vehicles? Remember, we have to answer every one of those questions truthfully. Now you're taken to the attachments page where you will start uploading documents. If you do not upload all the required documents on this page, then you will not be able to complete your dealer license applicating process at this time. First, you'll upload your lease agreement, which is a copy of the lease or any property ownership documents. Then the business photo clearly showing the full front of the business structure. The photo should include the permanently mounted business sign as well. Please be sure that the photo is taken at a distance which allows the entire structure to be viewed. Proof of identity. Remember, you got to have a copy of the current driver's license, U.S. passport, U.S. Armed Forces card, state issued identification card, or a Texas concealed handgun license for each new owner, officer, general partner, or any person listed on the application. Certificate of incorporation filing from the Texas Secretary of State's office, if required. Then you would upload a copy of your dealer course certificate of completion. And remember, as a reminder, the pre-license training requirement applies only to dealers with an independent motor vehicle GDN. These dealers are going to be licensed to buy, sell, or exchange used cars, used trucks, motorhomes, neighborhood vehicles, recreational off-road vehicles, which we refer to as ROVs, all-terrain vehicles, which we refer to as ATVs, and utility vehicles, which we refer to as U2Vs. So you'll be able to download that certificate. As I said, you'll need to submit a copy of that to show the state that you have completed your mandatory pre-license educational requirement. All applications for new licenses and renewal applicants that have licensed less than 10 years on September 1st of 2019 will be required to complete one-time renewal training. The licensing training requirement does not apply to independent motorcycle dealers, independent travel trailer dealers, independent mobility vehicle dealers, or wholesale dealers, wholesale auction dealers, salvage dealers, or franchise license dealers. As I said, the certificate will show that you have completed your dealer training course, and so you will be able to legally apply and have a dealer's license in the state of Texas. So you're going to upload a copy of your dealer surety bond. Remember, the bond's got to be signed by both you and the representative of the bonding company. You'll enter your bonding number, the company, and the effective date and the expiration date. And then finally, you're going to upload the power of attorney from your bonding company as well. So the dealer surety bond plus the power of attorney. You're going to click the blue upload button there, and that'll upload all of the documents to the server that the state maintains to process your application through eLicensing. You're then going to click the Save and Next button. Next, you're going to see an extensive summary of the dealer application that you are getting ready to submit to the Texas Department of Motor Vehicles. You want to spend some time on this page. Be sure to go over every section in its entirety to ensure that all information is true and correct. Double check to make sure that all the questions are answered correctly. Now, you're almost done, and you're going to have to e-sign the electronic dealer application. So you will need to make sure that you turn off the pop-up blocker in your browser before you proceed, or you may not be able to see the electronic signature window. If you're not really sure how to turn up the pop-up blocker, let's just say, for example, any browser that you're using, usually at the top right, you can click on the settings and you'll go down and click on privacy and security. And then you just need to be sure that you can allow pop-ups. So it's pretty easy to do. And then you will be able to allow pop-ups and easily finish the process. And you can do that with Google, Windows, or Mozilla Firefox. Okay. So now what's going to happen here is you are going to land on this screen where you are easily going to be able to give the electronic signature. Okay. If you would like to e-sign this application and you have a valid Texas driver's license, you would fill out the fields and then just sign this and then easily upload it straight back through to the eLicensing portal. Okay. If you would prefer to provide a physical signature, or you have a driver's license from another state, you can provide your first and last name and select Other for issuing state, and you're going to be prompted to print, sign, and upload what is called a certificate of responsibility that you see here. So basically, you just fill this out, then you save it on your computer, and then what you're going to be able to do is easily upload it right back into the eLicensing system. Don't forget to click on the blue upload button after you have selected the certificate of responsibility to upload. You will then be directed to the state's secure payment portal, which will allow you to pay for your dealer's license and your metal plate fees if applicable. You can either pay the fees associated with this application or all applications that you're waiting to submit, or you can select to work on another application and then combine the payments right here. So on the payment summary set page, you'll select whether you're paying for multiple dealer action applications or just the application that you just completed. So you'll click Proceed to Pay. You'll easily enter your credit card information here on the state's secure payment portal through eLicensing. And then here, you're going to see an overview of your payment, and you must enter the verification series of the numbers there that you see. And this basically ensures that you're not some, internet robot that's trying to steal passwords from a state server or something like that. So enter that verification code as you see on screen. Then you're going to click Submit. And here, you will see that your application was submitted, and that you have submitted your official application for your Texas General Distinguishing Number. So congratulations, you have applied. At any time after your dealer application was submitted, you can check your application status easily by logging right back onto the eLicensing system, and you can type in your application number there. You can also call 888-368-4689, or you can drop an email to dealerlicense@txdmv.gov. And another thing you can do is you can log right back onto your account page and click on My Applications, and that will show your application status. And so you can easily review that at any time after you've applied. So remember, all options that you use in eLicensing can also be used at any time after you apply for your license. So you're going to use e-licensing on a very regular basis, even after you've gained your license. So remember, you can easily renew your license. You can amend your dealer license to reflect any changes. You can order replacement plates and stickers. You can view those saved applications, check your application status like I just showed you. You can print up a copy of your dealer's license, view enforcement cases that involve your dealership, close or terminate your license, change general license information, and also give employees access to your account, such as maybe a salesperson or a general manager. So congratulations, by the way. You've completed the first unit of your dealer training course. And at the end of each unit, we'll do a quick review of what we learned in that unit. So we've learned that in order to get a dealer's license, obviously you have to have a business building. You're going to have that display area. We have to have criminal history conducted as well. You have to submit a dealer surety bond, have to have that business sign and maintain business hours. You're going to maintain records. Many dealers will register with the Secretary of State. If you're offering any type of financing, we're going to register with the OCCC. You've got to have that I-9 employment eligibility form. You're going to obtain your EIN. Remember, you take your 6-hour dealer training course, and then you easily submit your dealer license application through eLicensing. And I want you to be aware that you can review each unit of this dealer training course simply by visiting texasdealers.com. Then you're going to scroll down on any page and click on the Texas Dealer Videos link. And on texasdealers.com website, you can easily view all the training videos that are included in your course, at which time you can fast forward to the content that you want to review. So posting the videos on texasdealers.com makes it very easy for you to review the training anytime after you have completed your training course. And at that time, you can easily scroll through and fast forward to the information that you want to review.